When Lionel Messi retired, all he wanted was peace. He moved to a quiet neighborhood far away from the noise of the stadiums and the cameras. It was perfect. The streets were quiet, the neighbors kept to themselves, and for the first time, Messi could live a normal life. Months later, Cristiano Ronaldo became his neighbor. Ronaldo, like Messi, had left his football career behind and was looking for some peace of his own. The two men, once fierce rivals, began chatting occasionally over their garden fences. They weren't best friends, but they got along. One evening, an old man who lived down the street stopped while Messi and Ronaldo were talking outside. His face was pale and his voice shaky. "You bought that house?" the old man asked Ronaldo, pointing at it. "You should have left it alone." The last man who lived there, he vanished, took nothing with him, just disappeared. The old man walked off without another word, leaving Messi and Ronaldo uneasy. It started with small things. Ronaldo's dog refused to go into the basement. It whined and scratched at the floor whenever Ronaldo tried to coax it down the stairs. Messi began noticing strange shadows in his backyard. They moved quickly, but when he turned to look, there was nothing there. One night, Ronaldo was woken by his security alarm. He checked the footage on his phone and froze. There was a figure standing by his living room window, staring inside. When he rushed downstairs, the room was empty and the doors were locked. At Messi's house, things weren't any better. He woke one morning to find muddy footprints leading from his front porch to his bedroom door. He checked the cameras, but they showed nothing. The air inside the house felt heavy, as if something unseen was watching him. One evening, while cleaning his basement, Ronaldo noticed a door he hadn't seen before. It was small and old, and it didn't match the rest of the house. After hours of trying, he finally forced it open. Inside was a hidden room. The walls were lined with shelves holding old photographs, dusty cassette tapes and a journal. He called Messi over, and the two of them began going through the strange items. The photos were creepy. They showed people standing in front of Ronaldo's house, but their faces were blurred or scratched out. One tape contained nothing but muffled screams. Another had a man's voice whispering, "They're watching, they're waiting." The journal belonged to the house's previous owner. As they read through it, the entries became darker and more frantic. The last page was chilling. "They found me. If you're reading this, leave. Burn everything. Get out before it's too late." After that night, things got worse. Messi woke to the sound of knocking on his front door. When he opened it, no one was there. The knocking started again, this time from his back door. It kept moving, louder and louder, until it was coming from upstairs. But when he checked, the rooms were empty. At Ronaldo's house, the whispers began. At first, they were faint, but soon they became clear. They said his name, over and over, in a voice he didn't recognize. Objects began moving on their own. Chairs slid across the floor, lights flickered, and doors slammed shut. Messi and Ronaldo were terrified, but didn't know what to do. They argued about whether to leave, but neither wanted to abandon the other. One night, Ronaldo suggested they burn the items from the hidden room. Maybe it would stop whatever was happening. They gathered the photos, tapes, and journal, and lit a fire in Ronaldo's backyard. As the flames grew, the air around them became icy cold. A low growl echoed through the yard. Then it appeared. A dark, twisted figure with glowing eyes. It stood at the edge of the firelight, its form shifting like smoke. Messi and Ronaldo froze in terror as the figure stepped closer. It whispered in a deep, guttural voice, "One of you stays. One of you leaves." The entity lunged at them, its shadowy limbs stretching toward them. They ran inside, slamming the door behind them. But it wasn't enough. The entity seeped through the cracks, its glowing eyes fixed on them. Messi and Ronaldo knew they couldn't run forever. Desperate, they armed themselves with whatever they could find. A kitchen knife, a fireplace poker. But when the entity attacked, their weapons passed through it like air. Messi remembered the journal's warning. "Burn everything." He grabbed it and threw it into the fire. The entity screamed, a sound that shook the entire house. Its shadowy form began to dissolve, pulling back into the darkness. As the sun rose, the house was eerily quiet. The entity was gone, but Messi and Ronaldo were shaken. They agreed to leave the neighborhood, vowing never to return. As Messi packed his things, he noticed muddy footprints leading from his front door to his bedroom. Fresh footprints, even though he hadn't opened the door all night. He checked his living room and saw something that made his blood run cold. On the mantel was a photograph. It showed Messi and Ronaldo standing in front of their homes. But the photo was old, too old. The houses looked new, and the two men appeared younger. In the background, the dark figure with glowing eyes was watching them. From that day on, neither Messi nor Ronaldo ever spoke of what happened. But the houses stood empty, waiting for their next victims.